morning and welcome back to Wavra Farms and Nursery. We are standing out in our newly developed garden area that will be our teaching area. It has been 2 weeks since we filmed. I know the last video has only been up about 3-4 days, but it's been 2 weeks since we filmed that first video. And I just kind of wanted to give you an update and talk about some of the things that are going on out in this area. First off, I had some seed packets and we talked about it, and I just wanted to show you how far along things are. So I have some peas here on the ground, some beans here, and some more peas right here. That way I can kind of keep track of what I planted. I do have what seems to be like some wheat coming up here just from what was in our barnyard mix. But those are doing really well. And then further down right here, I did plant some sweet peas. I thought, why not? It's a seed packet. So let's give it a go. And those are coming up. So I wanted to try a few different things on the fence line, just so I know what I'm going to be successful with once we start planting some more stuff this next spring. So since we're farther back here, this is the carrot trough. I planted these as 6-packs, and it's kind of disheartening because they're not, I've got some that are doing really well, some that aren't doing a whole lot, but I think what happened was my my little tray pack, the carrots were too short when I planted them. They were just a little small, and by the time you dig out all those carrots and you separate them, I just didn't have as good of a success rate as I'd hoped for. I do have some still kind of coming up, so we'll see what happens. They might pop through. In this one here, I had some beets. Same thing. I took those apart in a cell pack, a 6-pack. I had a couple carrots that had stuck in here. I'd actually stuck about 10 carrots in. I only had 2 that kind of made it through. This here is kind of a funny, quick story. Walking through the greenhouse underneath where all the tomatoes were, I found a little teeny tiny seedling of a tomato like a month ago and potted it up, and we'll actually have tomatoes here. So we are the 2nd week in September. School just started. And so this is kind of where we are with this recap. And here we talked about the new cucumber, the little Persian cucumber we were going to try. I actually have cucumber setting. So we do have, very much so, we're fortunate, a very active honeybee population here in our yard and with our fields. We had a big clover field out back, which attracted extra honeybees. And so we're very fortunate that I still have lots of pollinators around. So in here, I also have some kale. Kale's actually ready to start harvesting. So we can start taking off some of these leaves. And so remember, I told you that we want to see about eating in our garden this winter without having to do a whole lot at the grocery store. So we'll see how this works out for us. In this bed here, the celery is coming along. I've just been keeping it damp. Our soil is really pretty good. It dries out a little bit. This is the Espoma raised bed mix soil. So I will water that again good today. This here is some of our lettuce with our dandelion chicory. So we can start harvesting that. Now, when you harvest lettuce, you don't need to harvest the whole head. You can just go through and take off some of these outside tender leaves. And easily, that lettuce plant's going to keep growing. So that works really well. So we should be able to start making some salads tonight with some of that, with some of our chicory. I will have quite a bowl here just with a few stems. So that works really well. This here is our broccoli and our cauliflower coming along really well. This has grown a lot. These were just little tiny micro plants, little tiny baby cell packs, some red cabbage. I ended up taking and moving all 6 of them to the outside end. And I think I'm going to stick some kale or another leafy green in the middle, because as you pick off the kale, you're going to have the bare stalks. So those will shoot up a little bit higher, and these will all be winter hardy. So that will work really well. So we'll save that. That's my favorite bed so far. We'll save one of these for last. This here I wanted to talk about. This is my pak choi. I was a little surprised. We've had some atrocious heat. It's going to be 100 degrees here on Friday, just in a couple days. So I will probably lose all my pak choi. Pak choi doesn't like to be that warm. And so I've had a little bit of issues with it already bolting. In fact, if Andrew zooms in a little bit, you can see here's a little flower where it's bolting. I took out some flowers earlier. It's just kind of a problem. So we will probably harvest this and use this in stir fry this week, do a couple veggie stirs. And then I will take this out and I'm just going to put something else in. As you can see, it's also got a bug problem, the big holes in the leaves. So I'll show you how to treat that in a few minutes. This here's our Brussels sprouts. I have never grown Brussels sprouts. I had some space. I thought, let's give it a go. Same with our other veggie, lettuce. Obviously, we eat lots of lettuce in this household. Lettuce is on the table every night. So this will be a lot of fun. Some of you have come to visit lately and have taken an up-close look at our garden area. And the question has been about winter cover. I know several of you were concerned about some of my leafy greens and how am I going to protect those. So in the next video, I will have that set up and I will show you in 2 weeks how we're going to start protecting these for winter harvest. So we'll have something rigged up to show you. But this is our Bauer lettuce. Bauer lettuce is a fairly new one. It is a gorgeous oak leaf lettuce and it is just stunning. And again, I can start taking off some of the outside leaves down at the bottom, put them in a salad spinner and start harvesting some of these. This is our radicchio and this one's winter hardy. Over here we have some more lettuces, a merlot, romaine, which is really nice. And again, you know, just picking off some of these outside leaves, I can make a beautiful salad easily. I can feed my family for at least a couple weeks just on lettuce alone. Now this here happens to be one of my favorite beds. And it's because I have a strawberry. I've been trying to film this, waiting the 2 weeks like I told you, but wanted to show you that we have strawberries. So this is an ever-bearing strawberry called Cabrillo. Really nice, full of flavor. And then on the back side, I did put some cabbage in. We'll see how that does. And so I wanted to kind of talk about some maintenance issues, some things going on. But I will let the strawberry eventually take over and it will just be stunning this spring. So a couple things to talk about. I know with many of you coming to the greenhouse to visit that, you know, you keep saying, I don't have slugs, I don't have slugs. There's lots of slugs. I keep finding slugs. In fact, this is the first year I've ever found the big, huge snails. And I'm sure many of you are finding those in your gardens as well. So for slug baiting, I really like the natural products. This is Natrella. And it is a slug and snail bait, and it is safe to use around wildlife and pets. So, you know, we have Bella running around. Bella does really good staying out of things, but I just don't want to take that chance. So what you want to do if you have raised beds is you don't want to put this in your bed. Once you put it in the bed, it's too late. A lot of you tell me, well, I've got raised beds, so I won't have slugs. Wrong. Slugs will travel up these metal tins. Snails will travel up these metal tins. So you want to bait a little bit at the bottom. And you can do a couple, just even test spots to see anywhere that's kind of damp at the bottom to see if you have slugs. The idea is, just like, you know, just a little test spot to see if you have slugs. The idea is that you want to get the slugs before they crawl up into your veg tubs. Right along my peas, you know, I could put a little of this out, just kind of here on the bottom, kind of away from them. And I know it kind of splatters everywhere, but just a little bit here and there. Slugs will be attracted to it. They're going to eat it, but it's just a great way to kind of ensure that you don't have a slug problem. So the other product that I really like to use in my garden because I try to keep it as organic out here as I can, is Captain Jack's. And you've all heard me talk about Captain Jack. And Captain Jack is an organic product. He works on all kinds of different things, from budworms to caterpillars to moths to leaf miners to thrips to aphids. And he just does really well. So since he is organic, I can spray this pretty comfortably. So since I do have a ripe berry, I'm going to take my berries off before I spray. Andrew's already got his hand out, so we might have to split it in half because we've been so excited about this berry. But anyways, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my spray, see which way I got it going, and I kind of like it on the mist. And I'm going to spray down my cabbages, my cauliflower, anybody with the holes. And so what that does is that protects them and protects them against the worms. Especially on your broccoli and your cauliflower. Those tend to be wormy products. So as soon as you see a little tiny head about the size of a pencil lead, you want to start spraying these. And the reason is because the worms, the caterpillars will come along, they'll lay their eggs, and the little worms will start developing down inside the head. So it's one of those things you just kind of want to spray. And if you can use an organic product, all the better it is. So really, it doesn't take much. I stand so that the wind is not blowing towards me, or you try to spray on a calm day and just kind of get a little bit on. It does tend to run off because these tend to be waxier, but it really helps to prevent the caterpillars, the codling moths, a lot of the pests that you might have on some of these. Anyways, that's kind of where we are right now in this garden. I'm still working on some cleanup. Going to wait a little bit later in the fall to get some of our produce trees on the fence. But we are having a great healthy salad tonight without a trip to the grocery store. So check out your own garden, plant a lettuce pot, and enjoy the bounty of what you can grow. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and happy gardening.